In the past tutorial, we set up a special kind of relationship called many-to-many. In this tutorial, we will be fixing this error because right now one of our models is looking for user ID that doesn't exist. If we go to our skills table, that is the index page, and remember, when you pass in the skills index 8, it's supposed to look for the user with the ID of 8. Now we no longer have user with ID of 8 in our database. If we should log in, we'll check it out and see that the user doesn't exist again. So what we're going to do is to make sure that we work with what we already have in the skills model. For instance, in this model, we're saying that a skill one single skill can belong to many users, as you can see. So we're just going to find the skills that belong to a user. We're just going to find the user, and then from there we find the skills. Okay, so what we're going to do is just make sure that we already have user here. So there are two ways we can do it. We can find okay, so what we have here is make sure that this is no longer necessary. We no longer have to find this. So what we're going to do is to find a user. We found this user with this ID that is being passed in. Then we're going to get the user skill. So we're going to say use skills. The skills is equal to user with skills. You remember this guy? Remember this guy because in our skills table here we've defined, okay, in our users here we defined skills. So since we have already found the user, this method will return all the skills that belong to this user. Likewise, if we want to return all the users that have a skill, we'll do the reverse, where we'll find a skill and then we'll do dash users. Okay, so this particular variable will contain the list of skills that belong to this user. Alright, so if we go now and refresh, we should not have any more errors. As you can see, this user doesn't have a skill yet, and that's why we're having the user's name, but we don't have a skill listed yet. So we are going to go back to the add skill method in our controller and fix it up. Alright, the add skill method is supposed to add a new skill, like we've done if it is a post request, validate it. Oh, we don't need this. To add a skill, we simply need a name, the skill name. So as long as the skill name is not empty. Okay, and then we will, if validation fails, we'll throw an error, and then we're going to create the skill. So we don't want to just create a skill. Well, yes, following the fields in our database, we can in the skills field, we can just create a skill without adding any user first. So skills table doesn't need a user ID. So all we have to add there is the name of the skill. There's a description. Oops, what's all this? There's a description, and then there is a name. There is a URL, if I can remember clearly. So if we check back here, we'll have there is in the skills table we have name, URL, description, then the rest will be automatically updated. So we have this, so we're just gonna make sure that we save them all. So right here we have name, we have description, we have URL. Okay, so now we're gonna put a comma here. Now we've created a new skill, and very good. So with this method we can now create a new skill. So in the next video we'll look at the method where the user gets to indicate their skill. Remember, when the user is being created in the sign up field, if we go to the sign up field, user update, we're looking for an add sign up. Okay, in the auth controller, that's where it is. So if we go to the auth controller and we go to sign up, so in the sign up field, when we are signing up the user, we are automatically doing some magic where we select all the skills they entered as hashtags, then we loop through them to create a skill. So in the next video we'll change this a little to reflect our new reality, you understand, because this is no longer saving in the skills table, It's now saving in the skill user table. See you in the next video.